Hey guys, hey girls, hey everyone. I'm very happy to launch my next course. I have been working hard for quite a while for developing tools and so on, as so I could launch the course in the best way possible. It's a topic that I have been working on for quite a while. So, on this course, I want to talk about machine learning in Angular. I want to teach you how to build a machine learning algorithm, which is can be used to use several algorithms for biometric data set, use TensorFlow.js in JavaScript. So that's more or less the agenda of the course. You get to know a little bit about Angular. So that's not a course specifically about Angular. So if you know Angular, you have a kind of a pre-knowledge of Angular that could be a very good advantage. However, I gave my best to explain everything when it was time. Get to know a little bit about TensorFlow.js. TensorFlow.js is a library developed by Google, and it's a very easy way to build very powerful machine learning models with a couple of lines. With 2 3 lines, you can build a very advanced artificial neural network. I want to teach you some concepts of machine learning. Since I have a background in machine learning, I have as well use the opportunity to talk about it, to give you some tips, to talk about some concepts such as validation, overtraining, overfitting, and so on. It can be a very nice opportunity to get familiar with machine learning. I mean, with nowadays getting easier and easier to use machine learning models, such as ChatGPT is one example. So machine learning is each time more and more present. In terms of Node.js, it's a very nice option, even though we are not going to use it here, but they also have a pre-trained model. I have another course in which I teach how to use pre-trained model for classifying moderation of comment online. So getting familiar with data analysis using neural network, I mean, I think it may be even impossible to talk about data analysis, data science without talking about machine learning. I mean, most of the models they are using for data analysis, they are based somehow on machine learning. So machine learning here, I'm talking about just about neural network, which is the group of models that is much more successful. I mean, most of the models that you're talking about machine learning, they have to do with neural network. That includes ChatGPT. So they are very powerful and generic way to handle massive amount of data. So they do not require you to know the structure of your data. As long as you have the data pre-processed properly, the data set, you can do a lot of work. What's most surprising about the neural models is how they can grasp hidden patterns. So as we are going to see, even though the model you are going to solve is not that tough, just one factor, one variable. The data set I'm used, they have 9, and some data set can have even much more than that. It depends how far you want to go on your model. The good news is that TensorFlow.js does not make it very simple because the idea of tensor make it a little bit the same if you model one factor or if you model several factors. They are essentially more or less the same. So what are the public I'm thinking about? I think about data scientists. They could benefit from analyzing biometric data set using TypeScript or JavaScript. TypeScript is an improved version of JavaScript. It's a typed version of JavaScript. So web developers like myself, so can build app apply to medicine using website. So you can build an online platform that can analyze data without necessarily saving your data. The data never leave the browser. That's a very good security argument in favor of data safety, because the data you never leave your browser, and you'll be able to do machine learning as powerful as doing in a web server. So Angular coders like myself could consider new field of application. See that this application was essentially I have adapted, because most of the application they are in JavaScript. So I have adapted several codes that have been studied for quite a while to Angular. This course is a result one of this adaptation. So machine learning is a possible way to model biological phenomena called black box model. So the models that machine learning generally they model, which is a type of applied mathematics, they do not require to know the structure of the data. So that can be very interesting because you do not need to know all the small details, how they component, the features, how the component connect to each other, what's the physiological relationship between the data set. You just need to have the data a little bit pre-processed, and then you can give the model does the rest of the work. That's a very good news for biomathematician. Bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is very dominated by Python. I mean, if you talk to someone from bioinformatics, most likely they use R or Python. But I have the feeling that Angular is a very powerful option, especially because you are using TypeScript, which is JavaScript. So you do not need server, you do not need to save your data set. You have a huge amount of tricks. They're much more interactive. Working with JavaScript is a very, not to mention that it's the biggest programming language, most popular programming language. So that's a very nice option that you can build machine learning on JavaScript. In that course specifically, I'm talking about how to build in Angular, which is a kind of JavaScript. The difference is that it's called in TypeScript. So who am I? Your structure. So I have a postdoc focused on Angular. One of the motivation behind this course is my postdoc, in which I have built a platform which didn't have machine learning, but it was applied for a startup in healthcare. So I have a PhD in information engineering, which I have been working with this kind of algorithm for quite a while. So I code for about 15 years. Web coding about 4 years. I started with web application. So I have a background focus on bioinformatics. So this course is a mixture between something new that I have been developing and something a little bit I have been working for quite a while. The big topic is not new for me. I just adapt some new ideas that I have developed recently. So I have been working with network for about 15 years. I mean, I started my undergraduation and I could never stop because I love the idea that a model could learn from data without too much telling what's the shape of the data. So that's a little bit about my background. So who am I on Udemy? I have about 10 courses, which was launched with success. One course has a highest classification, which by the way is about bioinformatics in Portuguese, but it's about bioinformatics. One course, as I launched, it was hot and new. It was about unit testing, Nest.js, which is a server like web coding. I have almost 4,000 students. That has been a very good pleasure. That's people all over the world on my map. I'm very happy just to when I see the map. So I have 4.2 star in 5, which is a way that Udemy measure the structure. So that's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed the course. I'm very glad to finally finish this course to prepare for you this thriller. And hope you enjoyed the course.